Thank you very much. Senator MacLeod, senators, thank you very much for inviting me. My name is Dr. Mileikowsky, and I'd like to compliment a member of your staff that can read and digest and absorb and understand a huge amount of volume of documents in split seconds. I refer to Ms. Polmano. I also wish to thank the members of this committee who voted 2 years ago for AB 632, extending whistleblower protection to all physicians in the state of California, because without such dedicated physicians, nurses, pharmacists, and healthcare providers, you and we would never know what is really happening behind closed doors. Not by choice, but as a consequence of events that I will describe to you briefly, I had to analyze the questions that you are now presently confronting. And I trust that what I will share with you and what Dr. Grady will share with you will persuade you that it's more costly to do nothing. For the simple reason that if you just take the example of the cardiovascular surgeon, since Senator Anastasiou had a cardiologic procedure, you're lucky that in your case it was indicated. At Reading, as Dr. Grady will show it to you, 83% of procedures were not medically indicated. It is estimated that in Belgium about 30% of procedures are not indicated. If we do not have a credible quality control of delivery of care in our country, we will continue to have 83%, 60 to 82% of unnecessary surgery. And I beg you to analyze the cost, number one, of the unnecessary surgery, and the impact on our economy by removing individuals that become incapacitated. And if I'm not mistaken, the way healthcare costs are booming, it will reach 60% of the GDP in about 20 years. So I urge you to do the big picture analysis of the cost and not get lost in one tree and miss the forest. I encourage you to visit the website that I founded by the name of Alliance for Patient Safety.org, where you will find over 200 physicians, 250, actually we have many more that are not posted yet, who have been retaliated against around the country because of their patient safety advocacy. I'm available to you anytime, 24 hours, 7/7, to share with you my experience as well as legal analysis. As hospitals' attorneys were definitely not my friends, published my legal analysis written with another attorney entitled How to Protect Physician Whistleblowers, Patient Advocates to Benefit Patients. Also in 2006, another article of mine was published by the name of In Search of the Black Box for a reliable and cost-effective quality control of delivery care. Because I'm only limited to 8 minutes, I urge you to go on the website and have the full documentation, but each one of you and the public behind me has access to a copy of my testimony, as well as all the documents that I referred to. So I will not be able to give my full testimony, but feel free to ask me any question about anything I would not be referring to or anything else. I know I have a funny accent, despite the fact that I was born in New York. I left promptly at the age of 10 months, grew up in Israel 5 years and 22 years in French in Belgium. And people tell me my funny accent results from the fact that I trained in Texas at Baylor College in Houston, where I graduated from obstetrics and gynecology. I'm proud to have trained in the Temple of Murphy's Laws, which is Chicago, Cook County Hospital, where I did my internship. And this is why I entitled actually my presentation, Peer Review, Victim of Murphy's Law.
Is there anything you can relate to us on some of your own personal experiences?
Yes, Senator. I'm going directly now to page 7 of my testimony, then I'll go to page 5 and 6. Encino Tazana Regional Medical Center, in which you asked me to testify about, is actually a very nice microcosm. Originally, that hospital was founded by private physicians, who then controlled everything, the operations and the management and the care of the patients. Then they sold it to American Medical International, AMI, sold it then to Tenet, and then it became a joint venture between Encino Hospital, Tarzana Hospital, Encino Tarzana Regional Medical Center as a joint venture, 75% Tenet, 25% HCA. What you and I would call a good physician, Dr. Anishtat, is a physician that would treat a patient only when necessary, a physician that would operate on a patient only when it is medically indicated, and would hopefully have the least possible errors and complications. Unfortunately, in terms of revenue, for the hospital, this is not a good physician. For a hospital administrator, an ideal physician is a physician that admits all of his patients, if that was possible, keep them for as long as possible in the hospital, and operate on all of them. The ideal physician would also have a maximum number of errors and complications. Why is that? Because the more errors, the more complications, the more revenues. So in effect, the best interest of hospital administrators runs in the opposite direction of the best interest of our patients. And that has happened at Encino Tarzana Regional Medicine Center over years as the control of the peer review shifted from physicians to hospital administrators and their attorneys. And so the original purpose of peer review, which is obviously important and absolutely correct, got lost. In June 2000, the director of the Quality Assurance Department of Encino Tarzana Regional Medical Center solicited the input of our physicians department to determine which criteria she should use to screen and pull out certain charts.